First, hey little puppy. Hey buddy. Smash the subscribe. Know what I mean? Smash. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is good in your world. Crazy times right now. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe. I know I get a huge percentage. You don't want to look at my bathroom. I know a lot of you guys that watch the videos aren't subscribed, so do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. If you're interested in any type of car stuff, got a lot of stuff going on, got a lot of stuff with the E36, E92, and S2000. But today, more specifically, we're working on the S2000 and something that I have been dreading doing. This. Oh, I've really not wanted to do this. I have actually tried to hire three different companies to do this for me. And it's not cheap. One company said they would do it for $500, but they were roughly 2 months out. So good for them for staying busy with all this stuff. So can't hate on that. The other company, not really a company, is a private guy. And he said he would do it, but he was about 2 months out as well. And just have a really hard time getting a hold of him, to be honest. So then there's that. Then the last company that had time would do it. They were about $1,200. So since that is double what two companies or two people have said they would do it for me at, I'm just gonna try and tackle it on my own. And you know, I did, if you're new to the channel, I basically have rebuilt this S2000 from, not the ground up, but it had a blown motor, which I always show, you can see right there. It had a blown motor, I replaced the engine, I did the clutch. Basically, I've gotten it back into shape. Watch the old videos, this thing was in pretty bad shape. So, I think I can handle the top. I just know, from everything I've read, everything I've seen, it's not hard. It's just time consuming. So I'm gonna try and be meticulous with the parts that I take off. I'm trying to label everything. And that's, for any of you guys that have car projects that may have not done many of them before, putting bolts in bags and labeling the bags will save your life. I'm not even kidding, just do it. If you pull off something for the intake, and there's 4 bolts you remove, grab a plastic bag, write air intake, put the bolts in there. I'm telling you, that is the way to do it. So that's going to be my plan of attack with the top. And at least I don't have to jack up the car, because that is super annoying on this car. And I have something else for the S2000 that I just bought that I was not expecting to buy, but I couldn't pass it up. I'm gonna show you guys just a little bit. Wasn't expecting to do that. Was not expecting to make that purchase. More on that in the next video. So if you're new to the channel, stick around, because it's about to get really interesting with this car. Anyway, all right, so the way I'm going to approach this is following a guide that I found online from a guy who specifically talks about replacing your OEM top with a Robbins top, which is obviously what I have. And I just decided, instead of going back to my phone every 5 minutes looking at things, printed it off. Look at this. I haven't read a book this thick since high school. This is gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna get started on this. I'm just gonna try and narrate as I go through. And to be honest, I can't really see it. I have all this removed down here. So I think this is gonna make my life a little bit easier than what a lot of people say with this job. So I don't know. The time estimate from what I see online is around 6 to 8 hours to get this done on your own. So with me and how I move when I'm working on stuff, because I don't move fast, it's 1 o'clock now. I'm hoping I get this done by 1 o'clock tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Let's get started. All right, so first step is, this is all just blah, blah, blah. Don't need that. Razor, get started and slice the top up. Cutting behind the window, you'll notice there's a plastic guard. So that is this thing right here. So I'm just gonna start cutting like along here, which is what he does to just get this out of the way, and then I'll get on this plastic guard. Now I have to admit, cutting the top, the first time I did it, definitely felt a little weird because I cut all this out to access the fuel pump, and now it doesn't feel weird anymore, boys. Whoa, there's a nut. All right, so I got it all cut up, and now he's saying to take the seats out, which, you know, probably should have been done before. You can do that before, maybe one of the first things you do. But I'm going to take the seats out, and they also say to take the center console out and leave the, well, I'll show you, but I'm going to take the seats out and the center console out. All right, boys, so this is where I'm at. And right now the guide that I'm using, and I probably have linked in the description, says to take out the roll bar trim pieces and then the whole center section and the roll bar itself. But I'm not sure why it says to do that. I don't see a reason to do it. So I text one of my buddies who's done this. He said he doesn't do it anymore, so I'm gonna skip it. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. And now what I'm gonna do is focus on this rear channel right here, the water channel. So you take these nuts off, and this piece will be able to slide out. And I believe this is a piece that you were going to keep because that will be reused. All right, I see why they want you to take these out now. I think if you loosen them, it should be enough because you have to take these pieces out to access all the rain channel bolts. So yeah, you want to loosen this, and that should be enough to take these, push these out and down. All right, so after you take off all those rain channel nuts, these little metal pieces right here, you just pull out. So these are like that. You'll just pull that out, and then you'll actually see the plastic rain guide itself right there, which will obviously come out as well, but you have to remove these metal pieces first. There's a big one. All right, so now this rain guide should be able to come out. All right, boys, one of the things that I need to point out for this rain channel is on each of the corners there are, I'm not sure if I pointed this out, but there are two little, I don't even know what you'd call them, two little fasteners or plastic fasteners that you need to try and get out. And I have a bunch of extra ones, so I ended up just breaking the ones because I'm not going to sit here and try to maintain them. But that is out and it's back there. So now I have to remove the trim pieces on top of the roof. Okay, so now it looks like we just start taking off the trim pieces on the front, which would be like this piece right here. I can remove that, and then it looks like this will be able to fold down, and then probably something like that. So now I'm going to start working on the front of the top. All right, so step 482, I took off the rubber window mounts right here, and then behind there are you'll find chrome strips that are all screwed in. You're going to remove all those. The bottom one has a couple little pieces right here that you're going to have to watch out for. You're going to have to unscrew. There's a little plastic clip that you're going to have to push out as well. So now I have that all taken care of. You can see the top kind of just folds away from that point, but the directions I'm reading say to remember how this is folded down here for when I install it, but I'm assuming it should have these little holes, so it should be pretty easy to duplicate. At least I hope so. So I think we're to the point now where we can start drilling out rivets, but I'm going to see. Remember how the top is folded in this area? Remember how the top is folded in this area? You can start peeling away the remainder of the top material, grind or drill out the rivet at the front of the top. And any other rivets that might hold on the trim. Be careful not to lose pieces in your cars, they'll rattle later. Okay, so you'll do that, and then it talks about pulling the tension cable. Alright, so sit rep. Got all of the rivets drilled out, and there's going to be the two right here on that side, and then two right there and on that side, and then there's these ones on the pillar, And then there's one more right here, and I'm waiting to hear from a buddy if you're supposed to actually drill that out, because it's the tension cable, and you can see it's accessible right there. I guess you wouldn't be able to string it through the new top, is the only issue. I guess you might, yeah. I'm not sure, I guess you would drill that out. I'm not sure, so that's where I'm at right now. But basically, from here forward, it's going to be, I'm going to get a lot of stuff vacuumed up, because this is, my top had so much crap in it from sitting for 4 years that, I mean, there was just crap everywhere. So I'm gonna get the vacuum and clean everything, so that's gonna be something that y'all don't have to do. But, oh, one other thing, when you get these rivets drilled out, they're gonna fall into the pipe. And you can try and blow through these as hard as you can. I got my air compressor and plugged it in one of these holes and blew them out. Sometimes the rivets will get stuck in here. You can just get that out, but if you don't do that, you'll be able to hear the rivet rattling around in there. So be sure to at least try and blow those rivets out after you get done drilling them out. All right, so I got all of it cleaned up back here. Now what I'm going to do is lay out the top and see what parts it comes with. I may have to go buy rivets for this, because I believe the rivets that they give you, you have to have a certain tool to use. And I just have a regular rivet gun, so I don't think I'll be able to use those tools, or those little silver snap rings, I guess is what they're called. But anyway, I'm gonna go through this, see what I have, and then unbox this top. All right, boys, we're on day 2 now. I'm sure I showed you, so everything's taken off. Now I have the new top unboxed, and I'm going to start putting the bottom of the top into the rain channel. And there are these little like button snaps that I don't have a tool for, so I called Tops Online and said, you know, is there any tool that I should get, or can I just use regular rivets? And he was like, dude, just use a hammer, which makes sense. So I'm just gonna stick that through the rain channel part. So you can see right here is where the old rivet is. I'm gonna slide this in just like it should. It'll go through that hole, and then I'll just hammer those snaps in place, and I'll do that for everyone that I drilled out. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, boys, the rain guard is attached, and from what I'm reading right now, we are going to worry about the elastic straps now. So we're not going to attach that yet. I did put it up here just to get it off the ground, but you'll see that this just attaches back to here like normal. And just nothing really tricky about this part. Just be sure to, you can visually see where rivets were in this plastic rain guard before, so just make sure to put them back in the same holes. So besides that, that is good. Now, like I said, we're gonna get started on the elastic straps. So let me figure out what goes where, and we will go from there. All right, boys, so here's what we got with the elastic straps. The full elastic strap goes from this first bar to the second bar using the little metal retainers that you got that were on the car. Then there's a band that is nylon and elastic. That will go from this, and then you have to drill out 2 holes to mount this to. An inch away from this guard, or whatever this is, channel. And then this strap right here will go down and mount to one of the mounting studs, but that is after we put this back on. So this was a little hard to figure out since I'd never done it, obviously. But it's not too many options. You can't really mess it up. You just have to drill these holes out and then use the snap pop rivets to go in there. So now the other side should be fairly easy to do now that I know what I'm doing, kind of, sort of. boy. All right, so just finished up. I don't even think, where's my headlamp? Just finished up installing the piece back there, which you can barely see. So there's a little plastic clip that you have to get screwed in there, and then underneath there is a metal clip that you have to get pinned and then screwed in there. And that is by far one of the hardest parts to this install, by far. But with that being said, this install is basically like, you know how with every install you do or whatever, there's always that one hard part that like, oh, this part sucks. Installing a soft top is like, every step is like that. It sucks. It really sucks. So now what I have to do is rivet the tension cable. Let's see if I have to rivet the tension cable back to its mounting location, do that on the other side. Then I believe I will start buttoning up the front, installing it here. And then I believe I can start riveting this back to here and putting the interior pieces back, and it should be all downhill from here. At least that's what this says. It's all downhill from here. So let's get to it. All right, boys, so here we go. Got this last piece on, and there are two flaps behind this that you have to glue down with the cement over there, that contact cement. So you'll glue those down. I did that as best I could. I believe it's time now to start closing the top to make sure everything is expanding correctly. So I'm probably going to give this a few more, just a little bit longer to set before I start putting tension on it. It says it's supposed to set pretty quickly, so I'm not too worried about it, but I'm going to give it a little more time, and then we will try closing this piece by piece, like a little bit at a time, to see if it looks all right. All right, boys, the time has come. I am going to try and close the top now. Let me find a good angle. All right, so like I said, I'm just going to take it really slow and try and close close the top just a little bit at a time, and see how it goes. Now they say you don't need to attach it right away. So what I'll probably do is back it out, pull it into the sun and let it, and then maybe try and close it, but I'm just gonna start slowly closing it. All right, boys, just got the top latched, and that's on there, right? Yeah. Overall, it fits really, I mean, it fits really well. It lines up really well. Yeah, it looks great. Everything looks really good. I need to wipe it down a little bit, obviously, but I will say, dude, pay someone. Pay someone. Just pay someone. Maybe this will be my intro. I'm gonna tell you the easiest way to install an S2000 top. Pay someone. Not even kidding. It's like a job made up. I think I said this earlier, but if you take those jobs that are really annoying to do, and they all have that one part that just sucks, and you're like, oh, I don't want to get to that part. Like dropping the transmission sucks because you have to drop the front subframe, and then you have to get those two bell housing bolts that are just impossible. That part sucks. This is like a job entirely made up of sucky parts. At least the first time around. I would say removing it obviously is easy because you can just obviously cut the old top up, and you can enter the tight locations very easily. Putting it back on, rain guard's not too bad. Just the little locations where you have to put screws and stuff at the bottom of like the door sill area where it connects there, it just sucks. Even putting that rain strip back on, it sucks. Then latching it. It literally took myself and Quinn, it took me a day of baking this to actually get it done. And again, it's been baking out in the sun for the entire day, and it's almost 100 degrees here. So it's warm. I'm gonna leave it, I just got it latched. I'm gonna leave it out here for the time being to just bake like this. This is a tough job. But now that that's over with, hopefully on to more fun stuff. So if you're new to the channel, guys, I got a ton of stuff planned for the S2000. I got a ton of stuff. I got a lot of stuff planned in general. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe because got a ton of stuff coming up for the channel in general. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.